Alrighty. So it's been like, I don't know, a week since I played Ostriv last, and I decided to redo my series on this game. If you're a follower of the channel, you might have noticed that I played it like week and a half ago, and I ended up deleting all of the videos that I recorded on it, and really it was just a quality thing. Like, I was always tired when I was playing it, talking in a low voice, and I'm not sure what it is, but when I record this game on OBS, it sometimes creates like really jittery images. And so, yeah, so that's why I'm pretty much going to redo this entire series. I didn't really make it, well, in earnest. I did make it kind of far, but I'm totally willing to redo all that. So, I was checking out different maps, and map 3 seems absolutely OP. Reason being is that it has unlimited iron, stone, and limestone. So, this is going to be the one we're playing on. And, yes. I quickly already previously checked at this map, and as it turns out, we can find our trade input right here, which is really nice, and I believe the river trade is from here. Okay. So, hopefully the shots aren't too bad. I'll try and do more still shots later on, but for now, I'm gonna be looking around like this. I want to create I want to try and create like a really huge city. Like, push this game to the limits, see how high the population I can get it up. I'm already pretty good at this game, and if you set up your economy correctly, like, it's so easy. And I'll get into that. I don't know if I'll make it all the way to that point in this episode, but I will get down to it eventually. So I do want to start by putting, I believe, like, I'm not a fan of repeating textures in video games, but with this game specifically, it does sort of help. And so what I'm thinking is, I want to do my trade port around here somewhere. My first trading post. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put our camp, I think, really deep this way. Yes, because eventually we're going to completely uproot the camp. But now I'm curious, where do I want to set up? I mean, I could go so far as to build it all the way over here. Which, you know what, isn't a bad idea. Yeah, actually though, because we can start by building up our first bit of farming over here. Okay. All up in the air for now, and I believe this is our unlimited stone deposit. Oh, it's limestone, and then we have, is this stone? Yeah, unlimited stone there, and unlimited iron here. So this map is, I think, probably the best one, just because you're not going to have to ever import iron, which is, especially early on, this is going to be one of your main imports. And then limestone and stone, you never have to import those. So you're just going to be in a very good spot. So I do like the idea of putting this here. Okay, I have an idea. We'll try and clear out all of these trees when I'm hovering over here. And if we clear all these trees out, then that'll give us a straight shot all the way down this way. Okay, so we'll just take things as they come. And of course, you're going to need your beginning production. Let's go ahead and start with the forestry. I'm thinking what is probably going to be best is to start by getting rid of all the trees around here. Yes, start with that. Let's go ahead and get our thatchery. I'm not completely averse to it being here, so let's put that there. And then we also need, there's one other building that we're gonna need. What is it? A clay pit. So let's go ahead and do a clay pit. I mean, I kind of like it being next to our population right around here. Okay, so that all seems fine and dandy. Now, I'll only do the first bit of planning, show you some of my ideas for setting up your initial bit of homes. These are just my ideas. I'm not sure like if this is the absolute best way to do it, but I like to do it this way. And so what I like doing is setting up our first bit of housing with the houses that have yards, and then building as big a yards as possible. So that way everyone living in them can grow as many crops as possible. So we'll start with that. I'll do the first houses after this set of houses though. I will opt for just getting it all done and then showcasing it afterwards. So I like building little roads up with it as well. So let's go ahead and do that. Hopefully these shots aren't too jittery. I found that in using the buttons for turning the camera, it is a little better. Again, with repeating textures, the repeating textures in the game, it does sort of make your planning and setup a little bit easier, which is nice. Okay, that seems fine, and let's go ahead and just rotate this house like this. Okay, I really like that. So there's the second house. And we will just continue this trend along, snapping to the various other buildings nearby. Not sure what the issue is here. Okay, that seems fine. Let's rotate this house like this, I think. That's probably good. I definitely don't like to set up the homes to be repeating like any of the same strategies and whatnot, or just like building layouts. I like to mix it up as much as possible. It seems like we could have gone out a bit further with this one, but that'll be alright. We definitely don't need to have these as like large as possible. It's just I like to get them as large as I am able to. The yards, I mean. Okay. So there's a total of 4 houses, and I'm rather content with that. Let's go ahead and extend this trend all the way to the other side of the forest line here. Sorry if you hear my coffee maker in the background. That seems fine. And that seems a-okay. I'm content with that. So let's continue along. Copy a building. F1. Here we go. There we go. Alrighty, so I believe that is a total of 6. Now, before getting too far into it this way, I definitely want to start clearing out these trees, so we'll build a forestry up here later on, but it seems like we can fit one more row of housing out here, and we'll get our requisite 9 houses finished. So let's go ahead and attempt to finish that on up. Continue building down this way. Go until it says too long, and then pull it back just a tad. And do the same thing round out here. Alrighty. So there is that. Let's rotate, rotate. So that it fits. There we go. And we just need a total of 2 more. So again, just sticking with the trend here. Alrighty. And just 1 more home. Oops. Alrighty, and if we get just a normal village home, we can hover over all of our farmland out here, and that's all looking very good. So let's go into the ×3 speed and watch as our little people here get to building. Okay. So as soon as we're done with all of this, I want to move into the government buildings, get down a town hall, and then continue to build up housing as we need it. The reason we want that town hall is we can control our economy. And so real quick, I believe I can show you what we're looking at here. I believe, yeah, okay, so time is still moving on, I think, right? Right? Yeah, okay, it is. So some major things you want to, I like to go with the absolute minimum for the land tax, which is 0.05, and then I like to increase village and apartment rent up to 0.7 of a dollar. Wealth tax, I like to increase this to, I think I was going with 5 whole Ukrainian ducats for that. And then the wealth tax threshold, I like decreasing this down to 20. So when a new family moves in, they roughly, like on average, I think they have around 20 ducats to their household name. And so if we put the wealth tax threshold to 20, that means as soon as they show up, they're pretty much never going to have more than that $20 in their household. And so that's nice. I mean, it's just a video game. I doubt anyone in real life would want to live in a country like this. But anyways, there's that. Market products price. I had this dialed in, but I've since sort of forgotten. No, I think I go with 30%. At 30%, that means that I believe 10 ducats a year is enough to feed a family. I believe. A family of 4, that is. So a mother, a father, and 2 children. The basic monthly wage, I like to decrease this down to 1 singular ducat. And then laborers, also $1, $1. I'm not sure what the, like, name for it is. Like, what is their currency called? I just call them ducats. I don't even know what a ducat is in real life. But anyways, having $1 a month, and if there's 2 adults working, that means they can afford the rent and they can afford food, and I'm pretty sure as well as like all the clothes and stuff that they need throughout the year. And then to hard cap it, make sure no one has more than 20. That's where the wealth tax comes in. So that's all of that. That is going to be all of our planning. What's really nice about this map is we can set up a mine relatively early on, and we just won't have to ever go and import iron. And so we'll always just be like a net positive little population here. And then on top of that, we can make like iron tools and stuff, sell them. I probably won't sell any of our stone or limestone because they're going to be relatively important. So there is all of that. And we can, with the resources that we are going to be collecting, we can start building up our row houses relatively quickly. We'll have to get around to making glass as well, but that shouldn't be much of an issue. I failed to get 2 workers in, so let's do that. Get 2 workers in the thatchery as well. And so yeah, we just need to wait for all of this housing to build up. Hopefully these shots aren't too terrible. But what is nice is, what I was about to say was, it would be nice if there was an option, like if you've been following my channel, then you know I play a lot of Tropico. And something I like is you can hit Alt-X, at least that's the command on PC, and when you hit Alt-X it makes all the HUD go away, so you can just get like a very cinematic shot. And I went through all of the keybinds and I didn't find anything like that. Not much of an issue, but it would be nice if you could do that. The only thing that I've noticed is you can like hide and close the map here. And so I guess I can go ahead and set up our first trading post. Yeah, let's set the trading post up. Maybe it should be the center of the town. That might be kind of a good idea, right? Like we're importing all the necessary stuff and then exporting it like more expensive things for money, right? Net profit. And so I seen somewhere someone was talking about how you can't really like import goods and then turn them into something else and then export those goods for more money and make a net profit, but you can, because you're never going to actually end up like really paying your population. Their family wealth is never going to increase, right? And so that means that you can import any goods, even like let's say we import some wheat and turn it into some beer, we can end up exporting the beer and netting profit. And no matter what, as long as you're netting just a little bit of profit, it's always going to matter. It's always going to be very, very important. Again, because like our treasury is never going to go down. Right now we have 9 families. 9 times 20 is like 180, which means that if you set up, like if we have the town hall now and I set all those settings up the way that I was mentioning them, that means that we would get the $2,000 we started with and we would decrease that by 180, and that should be roughly where we should hover around. So what is that, like $1,820? And that would be pretty nice, but actually I believe the families move in and actually have some money, so maybe we would actually just be hovering around $2,000. And so I'll show you all of this as I get into this series. The first thing we're going to set up with a trading post is going to be a shoemaker's workshop. It's going to be a dual purpose. First off, we're going to be making plenty of money off of it. Second off, we're never going to have to worry about importing shoes because we're going to be making all the shoes we need. Okay. And so what do we need to start producing? I mean, I guess it's probably going to be more important to focus on getting down. Where is it? Yeah, the iron ore mine. That's going to be probably quite a bit more important than anything else. And it looks like we can get it relatively early on. But before moving on to that, I would like to get the town hall and probably a second construction office down. So this game's quite different from Tropico. If you ever play Tropico, then you'll know like you need to always be putting down production and stuff. But in this game, really the only thing you need to worry about is making sure you have enough food, clothes, and iron, because you need the iron to maintain stuff. And beyond that, I don't really think that there's much else that you need to do. So all of these houses with very large yards is going to cover our food. Shoes, we're going to be importing leather, turning that into good old shoes, right? And then on top of that, we're going to set up our first farm, hopefully relatively early on. And we'll start growing. What I like to do, previously what I've done is I set up a total of 4 fields. One of the fields was, right, like every year it's gonna all rotate, but one of the fields was making, what is it? Not thatch, but, well, one was buckwheat, one's gonna be a fallow field, and then one's for flax, and then one more for one other thing. I've forgotten what it was. Buckwheat, flax, sunflowers, and then a fallow field. The flax we're going to turn into clothes through production buildings, so that means shoes and clothes are taken care of. And then the only thing is I haven't really got around to producing my own warm clothes in a playthrough yet, so I don't really know exactly how to do that. So we'll figure that out later on, and for the time being we'll just import the warm clothes that we need. So that means we'll have shoes, food, and clothes, normal clothes taken care of. And then the sunflowers, of course, we're going to start turning into oil from sunflower seeds, which is really nice. So we'll be importing leather, exporting shoes, growing sunflowers, exporting oil, and then growing flax and exporting clothing. And so that's like the very, very basic setup that I want to go with. And then later on I'll set up another farm and we'll use that to, I think it's probably a bit easier to set up a distillery because all you need is wheat. So I will set up somewhere maybe like far off. And then what I really want to check out on my last playthrough, the one I ended up deleting, it was kind of a shame, but I was just really upset with the quality of my videos on that one. But I want to set up a wagon shed somewhere near the center of town, and I want the wagons to actually be moving around a lot of goods. I want a lot of wagons in my little Ukrainian town here. I think it'll be really, really neat to see. And so the wagons, I want them to, you know, if we had wheat fields all out there, I want the wagons to go pick up just bulk loads of stuff and deliver it to our little downtown area. And we'll turn that all into other various things with production. And so something like this distillery, I want to set it up so that these bigger buildings, breweries, distilleries, potteries, glassworks, soapworks, like all the like towny, not towny, but like almost city-like buildings, I want to mix them, mingle them amongst our row houses. I think that'll be really, really neat. And so there's like all sorts of really, really interesting things that I want to get into. Do a big old wooden church somewhere near the center of town, the surgery place, of course, primary schools, and then we'll start setting up some really neat looking decorations all over the place. I don't think that I've ever seen brick fencing before. That has to be part of an update. I believe it is. I mean, I could be mistaken, and I'm probably mistaken, but that's something I've never seen before. I haven't been playing this game that long, so I could be just mistaken out here. But cow sheds, I'm not sure if you've ever seen a mini series, like a show called Lonesome Dove. It's one of my like all-time favorite pieces of cinema, and in it has to do with cattle, right? They're like taking a huge herd of cattle from Texas all the way up to Montana, and it's like a really, really, really good movie. But anytime I see the cow shed in this game and like think about cattle in this game, like it just reminds me of that. So I do want to set up plenty of, I want to get a lot of cows and bulls on our little, I keep wanting to say island because I play so much Tropico, but in our little colony here. That'll be really nice. And then eventually, of course, we'll make a tannery and all sorts of stuff. So there is a lot of really, really interesting things that I want to get into. But for now, click on the camp center to hire more builders. Yeah, that's always going to be a good idea. I believe there's enough space for just one person extra usually, but one extra person is pretty good. Try decorating your settlement. I do want to do that eventually, but we won't do that quite yet. I'd rather get the layout a bit more dialed in. And so what I'm thinking is we'll set up maybe like a square here and kind of extend it down with like some roads. And so what you can imagine is if we hover over a row house, like do like maybe like a square like that. And I want to have these row houses go down and then they curve around, do all sorts of like really, really cool stuff. This game is really unique, I think, in the fact that it's not grid-like at all. And you have a lot of liberty in terms of your like free flow design. It's really, really cool. So August, after August is September, and then October, November, and then after that I believe is December. And so we have until December 1st to get all these houses done. If we don't get them done, it's not the end of the world, but it is going to make things quite a bit easier if we get it done, all these houses done before that. Even if we don't, a family will move out, and as soon as we finish the final house or two, then another family will move right back in. And so there is all of that. Iron ore, but the iron ore is going to require a number of other buildings. We're going to need, fulling mill. Produces broadcloth from wool. Okay, and how do you make warm clothes? Tailor produces clothes and warm clothes from textile, broadcloth, and sheepskin. I'm not too sure. Leather from hide, and then maybe a sheep farm. Wool and milk, and then maybe the sheep farm just gives us sheepskin, I think. I mean, I hope. Textile from hemp or flax, but we need the smeltery, and that's going to require a bunch of stone. So we're probably going to have to sort of just put up with it, and by it I mean not produce our own iron ore for a while. The stone mining camp, we can get that done pretty quickly. I mean, it would probably be a good idea to get it done sort of like now, so we can start gathering up a bunch of stone. I'm not too sure. There is a lot of planning that can be done in this game, and like a lot of resource management and city building games, the more planning you do, definitely the way better off you're gonna be. Yeah, and so this is why I like building up these large, like homesteads with the little paths in between them. It creates these very nice looking roads. And just like this, like look at how much produce these guys are making. Look how many pumpkins that is. We should also set up our first granary. Go ahead and look into that. I want to do smaller granaries for the goods that people are going to actually be producing. I want to make this look really, really nice, so I'm just trying to imagine how we're going to set this all up. I do want to cut down like all of these trees out here though. Cut down pretty much this entire little forest here. Oh yeah, I completely am screwing up here because what is a pretty good idea is to make charcoal piles. So let's go ahead and start some of these up. And the reason that I like doing charcoal piles early on, I should have done them like way earlier, is a lot of the women in the camp are going to be sort of just like hanging out. They don't really have jobs quite yet. And so doing this is going to give the women something to do. And so that isn't bad. And on top of that, we're going to have a large amount of charcoal already stockpiled up. And as soon as we get our trading post done, then we can start trading away all of this charcoal for lots of money right away. And that'll be nice. So let's go ahead and set up. I'll probably end up destroying this warehouse, but let's get it set up for now. Probably right here seems fine. And the reason I want the warehouse done is because we want to deconstruct the camp storage. And so in conjunction with that, we want to set up a car parking. So that way we can get the carts out of the way as well. I think that'll be fine. And so that's the entire camp dealt with. All of these resources, like all the nails and extra iron we have hanging out, and the thatch, I guess, we can throw that into the warehouse. There's a total of 3 carts, so we're gonna need... It's been a while since I played this, so I've sort of forgotten everything that you need to do right away. Let's go ahead and set up our first. I like to be not just efficient, but to actually make it like look rather cool looking. I like that. So hopefully we're not creating any like pathing errors here. That would be a bit of a shame. But anyways, we're also gonna need a smithy. Makes nails, horseshoes, and metal tools. And I believe we have extra metal hanging out, so that is good. Come down here, build that up. Perhaps right around here-ish. I think that looks good. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. Okay. And then right where the camp is, I suppose this could be where our trading post is going to be. And then right away we're going to start selling up a bunch of charcoal. And we'll start selling up a bunch of shoes eventually. But before all of this, well, let's go ahead and do a smaller granary. It's like there's so much planning that I want to get done, but, well, I guess we can deconstruct stuff later on. But for now, let's go ahead and set up this first smaller granary here. So there is that. The smaller granaries, like there's all sorts of different like ways that you can have different things set up. Like if we click on a charcoal pile, we can look at hire options and we can see that we can hire on laborers to come do various jobs. And I think typically you want to kind of steer away from using too many laborers. You'd rather have a lot of people actually working in the buildings, and that's just to be as efficient as possible. And so as like the series continues to grow, I'll show you exactly what I mean by all that. Oops, did not want to do that. Oh. I think I sort of like this. Okay. Hopefully this isn't looking too terrible. 3 more houses and we're done. Let's actually do the town hall first, and then we'll do the warehouse and the car parking. Let's do the car parking after the town hall. And then we can move on to the carpentry and the smithy. Smaller granary after that, and then we'll build up some housing after that. And once we have the smaller... No. No, we didn't get 3 done. That's like the worst that I've ever done. I mean, it should be okay. I don't think that there's going to be any issues with it. That is a lot of people not living here, though, which is kind of a shame. Let's actually go through, turn off these 2. Let's turn off this in the hopes that, yeah, okay. So we have another person in there. Then let's open this slot back up. Alright, I think we're okay. I think that was partly due to the fact that... Well, I'm not too sure. Yeah, actually, I think we didn't have the forestry up for a little bit. Okay, we just gotta leave that one turned off. Yes, like absolutely the worst that I've done, but once we get these houses all finished, then we'll be in a much better spot. It's not like it truly matters too much early on. But what does really suck is those families that were here, I think they left with all the money that we ended up giving them. It really sucks that we can't control the wages early on, but as we make it further and further, things will be much better for us. So it's going to sort of stagnate our progress for a bit, but we should be totally fine. Trade and transport, a stable, a wagon shed. These 2 work in conjunction with one another to set up some really nice looking deliveries. Market stalls. We're gonna need market stalls. Okay. This is okay. Let's go ahead and move up. Let's move the small granary up to right here. And then we're gonna need some market stalls, right? So let's go ahead and do that. I mean, just for now, let's do these 2 right here. Open up the worker slots. Hire options, let's make only women allowed to work here. And same thing with this one. Okay. I believe there is resource supply. There's like an option you can do to have them actually go and gather the... No, never mind. That's a mistake. Anyway, so with the market stall, we should hopefully get people to move in soon. We definitely need to get the smaller granary up and running. Okay. The wagon carts are all worn out too. Oh man. Maybe it would be best to build up the carpentry after this. Yes, I believe so. Because getting the smaller granary up means that we are going to have the food to encourage people to move in. We have an extra home. Now we just need the smaller granary finished. And then the carpentry after this to continue production. But I'm not sure if we're going to really have enough people. Yeah, we're like really hurting for people right now. Not enough food for sale, yes. That is like our only issue at the moment. Yep, every single cart is out of commission. by far the worst that I've ever done in this game. Previously, the worst I had done is like, I think I had 1 or maybe 2 families move out, but 3, that's pretty rough. Either way. Let's go ahead and move out the town hall, I suppose, as well. And I guess, no. Yeah, never mind. So do the smaller granary, that's going to get people to move in. Do the carpentry, that's going to up production. And then do the village houses to get even more people to move in. Town hall after that so we can actually control our wages and stuff. Cart parking so we can demolish our little cart stand there. Warehouse to demolish the little storage tent. And then smithy to finally get our metal starting to actually get turned into useful materials. So as well as all of that, it would probably be a good idea to consider building up a stone mining camp. I'm not sure if this is going to be the greatest of ideas early on, but maybe it will be, so we'll go ahead and consider investing in it. Hopefully that's not an absolutely horrendous idea. Yeah, it really sucks because people have to carry around like logs. It's really going to slow down production for a while. But the moment we start to really kick things off, like, I will get this little population to completely explode through the roof. I've watched like other YouTubers making videos on this game, and my biggest tip to anyone that wants to play this game is, first off, just, it's almost like cheating the way I'm going to show you how to set up your town hall. It's just going to be so efficient. Like, no family, like, the starting money that you start with, like the $1,700, it's never going to go anywhere, right? Like, no one's going to bury the money in their yard, no one's going to sell it or burn it or anything. The money's always going to be right here, right? So if we look at this family, like, look at them, they have 50 of our dollars, right? These people have 34 of our dollars. These people have 45 of our dollars. The families out here are actually holding on to that money, right? And so you could try and like micro and be like, well, I'm going to up the tax here and I'm going to, you know, change around the price of stuff and control how much we're buying and selling goods to our own population. Or you can just go, to me, it's like pretty communistic to set up a wealth tax thing. I just feel like that's like a communistic ideal. But in terms of this video game, it just makes it to where like you'll never run into like monetary issues. Wow, we made it all the way through the winter, and yeah, it's gonna be rough early on, especially since we didn't get all these houses done, but that'll be okay. All the carts are broken down. Nice. 2 workers there, 2 workers here. The mayor, could we fire the mayor and make him... I wonder what happens. I'm not going to do it, but I'm just curious. Let's click on the help. A temporary building to be later replaced by town hall. Some town hall functions are unavailable in the camp center. Let's see, is there anything that I can change? No. Purchase from Citizens Price. I did a little bit of testing with this, and if you decrease this down to 0, then the population actually won't sell you the produce that they're making. So out of necessity, your only option is to keep it at 10%, right? Not that big of a deal, but something important early on is your granary. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, I gotta look that up. But your granary here, you want to not buy too much goods in the beginning, because right now we are paying like 90% for the produce, right? 90%. So that means if like a family sells us like thousands of units of like pumpkins, we're gonna give them like $100. We're gonna give them kind of a lot of money. So you only want to collect, I think what's a good idea is only like 200 for each good. And so there is that. Yeah, it's pretty rough only having 17 people, but as time goes on, it should sort of clear up. Okay. And so a real quick word about this game and my channel is, I think I'm always going to be doing daily uploads of Tropico 6 because it's just the game that I like absolutely adore the most. I just find it really, really satisfying, and I've always played it ever since I was a little kid, so I'll always be playing that game, doing daily uploads on it. But I think every day I should do at least one other game, and there's a number of games that I do want to kind of branch out into city building and maybe some turn-based combat games, but this one here is something that I want to do, and so every single day I'll upload a Tropico video and then as well one other video. And so Ostriv here, I'll do like, you know, this game every couple days, I'll upload one of these videos, and then there's Surviving Mars. I need to get back into Surviving Mars because I set up a really, really good run, and all I need to do is actually just, like, literally just continue playing it. Another one is, what is that game called? It's like a little space game. Kerbal Space Program 2. I started a run on that, and I like the game. I just haven't really got back into playing it, but I should start playing that some more on the channel. And then Crusader Kings 2, the most legendary playthrough of all time. I spent like probably 1,000 hours kind of refining this one specific playthrough, like specific run, and so I will get back into that. And then there's like one or two other games that I want to play. Total War Rome 2, love that game. I actually have a series still running, and all I need to do is just keep uploading that game as well. But we just finished something, we got the smaller granary, so let's go ahead and press play. Set resource slots automatically, and then we want to change these all to 200. So we're not purchasing too much. And then we can click on buy from locals. Okay. And so there is that. I don't want to hire on workers. Oof, I don't know what that was. Instead, let's just make it for laborers. Yes. Right? Laborers are turned on? I believe so. And so what I think is rather interesting is you can click on this, take from other granaries. And so what I believe you could do is set up a bunch of smaller granaries, specifically the smaller ones. And eventually we'll change this up to 1,000. Maybe even a little bit more. Yeah, you could probably do the 1250. I think the game defaults to that because if all of these had 1250 in them, that would be the maximum storage capacity. And so I do want to eventually do that, right? And so all the most basic things like honey, I feel like sometimes we just never see honey in the market, but onions, cucumbers, not apples because we'll actually get an apple orchard later on. And so my idea is there's two types of produce. Produce that your population actually produces at home with their little gardens here. And then produce that I call it being produced by the state, right? By me specifically, the player. So from something like a farm, an orchard, a windmill, chicken coop, cowshed, like these production buildings. So there's two, right? And so the smaller granaries, I want these to purchase goods from our own population, from their little gardens here. And what I want to do is put this on take from other granaries and set a smaller granary up near all of the different little farms and have them take from other granaries. And what this means is, let's say this smaller granary here didn't have like peas, right? But another granary over here had like completely full of peas. Then someone would go over there to that granary, pick up some of the peas, bring it back, and so they'll like kind of equalize everything out, and hopefully all of the smaller granaries will have all of these completely full, 1250 on every single one of them, all over the place. And then we'll kind of notice whenever our population's growing and we need even more food. And then the actual larger granaries, the normal ones, if I can find it, the actual granaries, I want these to actually control, like, the actual state produced food, right? And so there's my ideas on that. So you can imagine the wheat producing horilka and just all the little things like that. And they will produce, or not produce, but gather all the goods and spread them around as well, working just like the smaller granaries, but just focusing on different stuff. So, did we finish something else? I don't think so. All the way into April. Yeah, it is a bit miserable having to wait so long for all of this, but I mean, we have a house done, right? Do we not have food? Not enough food for sale. Is there... Oh, this is what it is, right? No. I'm not sure what the issue is. Is it because everyone's busy? I believe it is. We'll just need some more time. I kind of have a feeling that the laborers are busy gathering charcoal. Maybe we could actually just pause this building. There is a pause button on these buildings, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, deactivate. We'll just deactivate it for now. And hope, just hope. Screw it. We'll do hire on 2 slots. Hopefully that works out. Did I do something wrong? What do these guys have? A bunch of pumpkins and onions? Pumpkins and onions. Okay, so here we go, finally. Starting to get people gathering up these goods. And so now a family should move in, because all we need is for people to actually start purchasing these goods. Let's keep clicking on this one. Hopefully we can get both of the markets to actually start selling stuff. Allows to sell up to 4 goods to to citizens. Goods for sale can be delivered either directly from production buildings or from storage buildings like granaries or warehouses. You can choose how goods are delivered in supply options of the market stall. So another really interesting idea I have is that row houses can actually have stores, and stores are twice the size of a market stall. And so I have an interesting idea, which is to actually have an entire store set up to only sell like one specific good. I'm not sure how efficient it's going to be, but I think it's a pretty cool idea. So like, you know, just a whole entire store dedicated to clothes. And once the population's like really, really huge, I think that'll be pretty cool to see. And so we're tanking money right now, but as soon as we get the town hall finished, then we'll be in a much better spot. So let's go ahead and click here. That's nice. And let's go ahead and do this one as well. Looks like we are sort of just chilling here. Very, very soon. No jobs available. Okay. Let's go ahead and... Not there, but... Where is another job slot? Let's do construction sites. Let's just open that all the way up. We're gonna need someone to work in the carpentry soon. Yeah, as soon as we get the town hall up, we can start extorting our money back from the population. And as you can see here, the first resource there at the top, total stored resources, 40,000 units of charcoal, which means the moment that we set up our trade post, we can sell away around 10,000. Okay, so that's really annoying whenever that happens. Let's open up 2 more slots for that. I kind of have a feeling it's because people are going to get paid more for... What happened? Let's go ahead and get rid of these 2. Let's do, I suppose, this. Okay, there we go. The carpentry's finished. Let's open up. We could probably get away with just 1 worker here. Let's actually get rid of 2 of those slots. And I think we're in a pretty decent spot here. A bunch of new people just moved in. 2 vacancies. What ended up happening? No, here we go. We're good now. Okay. So, there's all of that. And we just need these houses to get constructed up, get some more people moving in, and we'll be in a fairly decent spot. Hopefully, camera shots aren't too jittery. Alrighty, yeah. Things are looking at least somewhat decent, not too terrible. Checking on the granary. Cabbage and carrots aren't being sold. Let's get rid of the apples, see if there's something else. Raspberries, I don't like those either. Anything else? No, not really. Yeah, I suppose we can do the apples. For now, at least. That's probably alright. They'll go out, pick up some raspberries. And once all of this is done, the stone mining camp's gonna be nice because way previously what I would always do is actually just start importing a bunch of stone and limestone. But with the stone mining camp, we can actually start gathering stone, and that'll be really nice. So certain buildings that require stone, like here, a smeltery, we can actually start producing. And once we have an iron ore mine, the smeltery, then we are sort of good forever. We're producing everything that we need. I guess we need the trade post, but after that we'll be in a really good spot. Something that's kind of annoying is we always need to remember to set up wells. So let's go ahead and do another well out here. That looks good. We can probably do this after we get both these houses done. I like that idea. These don't take long to construct, I don't think. Yeah, there's all sorts of like really interesting stuff that I want to get into. There's a lot of stuff that I've actually never set up. I mean, of course, right? I'm pretty new to this game. Like soapworks. What is this? Lye and tallow. Tallow is produced from... I have absolutely no idea. So we'll have to check that out. Hopyard, brewery. The brewery. That's a weird word. Brewery. Pottery, never set that one up. Clay, glaze, fuel. I believe glaze is actually something you can't produce yourself, and you have to import it from some very specific place. So that'll be pretty interesting once we get that. Boatyards, fishing docks. Fishing docks work in conjunction with the saltworks to produce salted, not salted, but dried fish. So there is all of that. Yeah, and I want to set up a cow shed, start producing, not producing milk per se, but I want to actually start getting more and more cows into our little population here. And that'll be nice eventually. Oh, the carpentry's finished. Are you going to start repairing? Hello? Is he just not going to repair our carts? Taking rest. Yeah, one of my runs was actually ruined because the guy, like, a bunch of people just did not want to actually work. It was so annoying, and there was like, I don't think that there was anything I'd done wrong. They just like did not want to work at all. Oh, maybe he doesn't have enough wood for all of this. Yeah, that's probably it. Production is crawling due to the fact that we don't have these carts up and running, so we really desperately need... Let's go ahead and go to higher options. No. Supply, yeah, okay, and we'll do labor by hand and carts. Okay, so now that's actually much better, I think. I believe we can actually open this up. I think, yeah, so like there's a laborer here. Ooh, whoa, that's a child. Is that a child? I think this is the first, oh, I don't know if that's a child. It looks like a child. But I've actually never seen like children working anywhere ever. But I do want this grown man to actually get a job here at the camp center. Help in getting our buildings done quicker. We're on into August, so that's September, October, November, and then on into the winter. How's this all looking? Let's get rid of the carrots and see if something else will get filled in. Nope. Backspace, 200, 100. Do that. Still taking money, but it doesn't matter because the moment we get our town hall is the moment we actually start getting all of our money back. Hopefully we're not running into any nail issues. We might be. Now we have 461. No, let's do the smithy first. Yeah, we're gonna need the smithy first, I'd say. Kind of a shame. Build more village houses to attract new citizens. Oh, thank you, game. Build a farm to produce food for your citizens and future livestock. Okay. You can also earn money by exporting farm produce through a trading post. Oh, you don't say. Hello, sir, please. Please fix our carts. The carpenter is what's needed to fix these carts, right? I wonder if they'll tell us. When you order a new vehicle by clicking plus in the respective building's properties, carpentry workers will bring draft animals if needed, build a vehicle, and deliver it to the destination. When vehicles wear out, they are marked as broken. Carpentry workers will perform repairs on them if they have enough materials stored. If preventative repairs is checked, they will repair vehicles nearing their broken status, but still usable. Okay. Let's see what this guy's doing. He's working, but he's not working on anything. See, I hope this isn't like one of those moments. Relocate carts. Wear out over time. All repairs are made by your local carpentry building. For cart relocation, the supply jobs are generated in other buildings. Oh no, man. Like, I don't think that maybe we should do a second worker? Not enough metal parts for repair. Oh. So maybe it would have been a better idea to get the smithy done first, because we do need nails. And it seems like, I guess we need... And let's put this up first. Let's get this smithy done. We really desperately are gonna need these metal parts done. Okay, well, simply learn from my mistakes. Clay, 5,000 wood. 112 nails. We have enough nails. Okay. Because we have enough nails, we're alright. We'll be okay. But yeah, I guess that's the only issue, is we just need some metal parts. Anything else? No, they don't want to bring any other goods out here, I guess. Cabbage, raspberries. Let's get rid of the raspberries. Garlic, nice. Delete all of that, go to 200 and click there. Okay, nice. Everything's full. And hopefully, ooh, this building doesn't seem like it's gonna take too long to finish up. No one wants to work in that building. Let's get rid of, we don't need a second person working in this building. Smithy. What if I only set up the stores for the state-produced goods, and then all the markets, we should use those specifically for the goods in the smaller granaries. I think that's going to be a pretty nice setup for it all. And like, let's say we get pretty towny with it, and we have a bunch of like row houses and stuff. In between the row houses, we can set up smaller granaries, and then outside of those smaller granaries, we can set up market stalls. I think that'll be a pretty good idea. Yes. Let's zoom in on production here. Nice. Yeah, this game's really cool in the fact that you can actually watch like production happen. I always thought that would be a really cool thing to see in a video game, and so whenever I seen this game, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was like, oh, that's so cool. Just being a total nerd about the dumbest little things, but I think it's definitely unique. Pretty fun to watch. Smithy's almost finished. Very, very good. Yeah, if I would have actually had this done earlier, then we'd probably be like way past this point, but nothing you can do about the past, right? It's getting there at least. I'd say that's like 80% of the way. But yeah, see, like, they're just spending way too much time walking around. Like, we definitely need the carts up and running. Right away, we'll turn off nail production and just get some metal parts finished. They have everything they need. All they gotta do is put it together. And it's done. Thank goodness. Okay, so let's turn off nail production. I like having metal parts production at 15. And let's get a worker in here. I think it's probably going to be most advisable to get rid of a construction worker. Get someone in the smithy. Let's go into times 4 speed, times 12 speed actually. Not enough iron, so he's probably gonna have to gather iron, right? Resource supply, labor by hand and carts. There we go. Perfect. And we already have the charcoal. If I was even more efficient, then I just totally had a brain lag. I forgot what I was gonna say. But that is nice. Okay, starting to gather or create some metal parts. Now I'm curious as to how many metal parts do we need for the repair of just one cart. Hopefully not too many. And on into the winter. Losing lots of money, but it's okay. Because once these carts are up and running, village houses should go up a bit quicker. And then the moment we get this town hall up and running, we'll get all of our money back. Alrighty. So, I think I want to stick with the trend on my channel, and for any games that I'm going to be recording, I think I want to keep them roughly in the 1 hour range, so I think this is going to be it for a little Ukrainian village for today. Really hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like, and if you want to follow along with this series or series on some other strategy games, be sure to subscribe and check out the channel. I try my best to keep everything neat and organized and put into various playlists, so should be a pretty easy time to find something that you might be looking for. Peace.